Okay, the next exercise we're going to practice now is a form of body tapping called 5-element body tapping. And I'll discuss the principles of this exercise more in further videos, but for now we'll just go through the exercise with just a really simplistic explanation of the principles and the benefits of the practice. So we start by tapping on a point for the lung meridian, which is a metal element internal organ. When you do this, you want to put your thumbs inside your fist like this so that you make a nice soft tapping surface or broad tapping surface. So you're not tapping with your knuckles directly on the point, but it's just a little bit lower than the shoulder. You also want to try to find the softer parts of your body to tap on. So we're going to tap right here on our lung point. And while you're doing this, you want to focus on your lung. Put your attention inside your chest and feel your lungs. And you can bring to mind the principles of the metal element if you're familiar with those. So you feel your lungs, and you let your arm just hang freely, your shoulder relax, tapping. You feel your fingertips are relaxed, your hands and wrists. And then we can breathe in a very specific way for this. We're warming up, we're dispersing stagnant energy, we're feeling the vibration inside our internal organs, and we breathe with a deep inhale through the nose, and then exhale through your mouth. So you expel toxins and stagnation from your lungs. Clean your lungs out. Okay, and you don't need to breathe every time deeply. Just breathe naturally, but every so often just take a nice deep breath in, and then breathe out. Relax. You can always shake and vibrate your body too. Feel your lungs. You can also utilize the healing color. You can imagine white, the healing color of the lungs as you breathe in. It fills your lungs. Breathe out. And let's do one more nice deep breath. And you're also kind of gazing down towards your fingertips. This just helps you keep your mind from wandering away. Just keep your attention grounded by looking down at the earth through your fingertips. One more deep breath. Okay, and then to close that side, we just put our hand over the lung point. Take a nice deep breath in. And have a sense of gratitude for your lungs, and you can sweep down the lung meridian. So, as I said, in additional videos to accompany this one, I'll go over more of the principles of each of the elements so you can understand what negative or harmful emotion that you're releasing from the specific internal organs and so on. So we'll go to the other side because we have two lungs. Okay, we're going to do the other lung here on my right side. You bend your knees a little bit, relax your body. Again, you feel that broad surface tapping around, and it doesn't need to be right on that specific point. You can tap around, but try to focus more on the softer parts of your shoulder and chest tapping here. Shoulder relaxed. Tune into your chest and feel that vibration settle in, settling and sinking into your lung. And take a deep breath in through the nose and then exhale through your mouth. Cleansing your lungs, purging out any stagnation or toxins from your lungs, keeping your body relaxed, shoulders, lower back, knees slightly bent. And again, you can gaze that lung meridian flows down your arm to your thumbs and feel that energy activate. Breathing in deeply and breathing out. Lots of acupuncture points to activate here. Lung energy, the metal element. Let's do a couple more nice deep breaths, breathing in and out. Okay, and then we can finish as we did on the other side. Just place your palm over that lung point. Take a nice deep breath in. Send the gratitude to your lung. Imagine a healthy lung. And then sweep down the lung meridian towards the thumb. Shake out your hands a bit. You can shake out your feet. It's always good to take a moment and shake out your hands and feet so the blood and energy continues to circulate there. So then in the 5-element sequence, we go from the lungs. We follow a sequence from the top down. So we do the lungs. The next one, we come to the center here, and we put our left hand right on our chest, right at the center. There's a point for the heart there. And also at the solar plexus, right at the 3rd chakra. So this is for your fire element and the heart and the small intestine. So we'll bend the knees a little bit, and we begin tapping here. And especially people become most sensitive on that solar plexus point where the abdomen begins to soften. It's that last bone here, the xiphoid, I believe is what it's called. Just below that, an inch or two, is where you'll be tapping. And it's natural to feel a little bit of tension or discomfort in those areas, but you'll be amazed at how that tension is relieved, and that you, after a while of doing this, you just don't feel any tension or pain there at all. And you can tap more firmly and release blockage and stagnation and tension from deep in your abdomen. So here we feel our heart, and we're feeling that rhythm and that vibration inside our body. We allow it to sink inside our chest, and we feel the heart. This one is a general exercise to release anxiety too, because the fire element, the negative emotion associated there, is anxiety. So we can purge that anxious energy, purge excess fire energy. Okay, so we can do this again with our breathing. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Expand your chest, so you're breathing to the chest, and then exhale through your mouth. So in QiGong, we don't have just one way of breathing, right? We want to not just do the deep abdominal breathing, but it's important to practice chest breathing as well. So opening up the heart chakra. And breathe out completely when you breathe out. Exhale completely. And you can take several more breaths, as many as you feel comfortable doing, directly into the center of your chest to expand from there. And exhale through your mouth. And as best you can, you try to relax your solar plexus. Even if you feel tension there, try to let go and let that vibration sink and settle in towards your solar plexus. Shoulders relaxed, lower back relaxed, knees slightly bent. And feel your heart chakra just gradually relax more and more, open more and more. Expand more and more, feel more and more clear. Deep breaths in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Feel that rhythm in your chest. Relax the solar plexus. And let's take one more deep chest breath. And breathe out. Okay, and for this one here, we'll place our hands on the chest and solar plexus to finish, and just take one more deep breath in. Sending gratitude into your heart. Feeling that heart chakra opened. And then sweep down the center of the chest. Shake out your hands. Shake out your feet. And for this next one, we'll be doing tapping on 2 different elements here. So on the right side, we're tapping on the liver and the wood element. And on the left side, we're tapping on the spleen and the earth element. So we do these 2 in one blow. So thumbs in the fist, and you're going to tap on each side, up and under the rib cage. So we're trying to reach the liver, sending the vibration there. Spleen and stomach over here on the left side. So bend the knees a little bit. tapping here, wood element on the right side, earth element on the left, and just kind of concentrate on each one in particular for a few breaths at a time. So we'll focus on the wood element first. We have that green light is the healing color for the wood element. And we hold anger, that's the harmful emotion. You know, and you'll learn more and more how each element has a negative emotion, but it also has a positive attribute, a virtue associated with it. So we release the negative, and we also do meditations to add the positive. The tapping is generally to let go of the negative. So we'll release anger with our exhale. So we'll feel the liver. We'll take a deep breath into that region in our solar plexus. And then breathe out through the mouth. And again, as you see, we're bringing our breath deeper as we move through this sequence. So now we're down around the solar plexus level. Relaxing your lower back, bending your knees, relaxing your shoulders as much as you can. And taking those deep breaths through your mouth, or excuse me, through your nose. You inhale. And exhale through your mouth. And we always practice, especially when we're releasing, we breathe out completely. So emphasize the long exhale. And let's do one more for the wood element. Breathing in. And breathing out. Okay, this is a great warm-up exercise as a precursor to 5-element QiGong, which we'll practice those forms. We'll have more videos for those too. Now we're going to do the earth element, the spleen and the stomach. That's on your left side. And the yellow healing color benefits the earth element. And we release from the wood element, it's worry, or excuse me, from the earth element, we release worry. So feel that side of your solar plexus and take a deep breath in. And breathe out through your mouth. And again, when you're doing this, don't avoid the areas of tension that you feel. If you feel them, just tap a little more lightly and be a little more conscious. You can also always tap with your palms if you feel like the fists are a little too strong or cause any excess discomfort. So again, feel the left side, earth element, deepening our breathing and releasing worry. We inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And one more time, let's breathe in deeply. And exhale. All right, so now rub your solar plexus. Let's send some energy to the liver and the wood element. Gratitude for your liver. And on your left side, the earth element, the spleen, it's the primary internal organ for the earth element. Gratitude to the spleen with a deep breath in. And breathe out. So as you'll see with the QiGong forms, we'll be moving to stimulate the meridians, not just the internal organs, but the associated meridians of each of these elements. And now we'll do the last internal organ, the last element in 5-element body tapping. This one is for the water element, and the internal organs associated with the water are the kidneys and the bladder. So hands in a fist again, thumbs in the fist, and your left hand's going to go on your belly button. That's a point associated with the kidneys. And then your right hand's going to just go over your bladder. This one's really excellent too to stimulate the lower dantian, the lower energy center in your body. And as we've seen so far, this sequence gradually gets our breath to go deeper and deeper. So starting up in the lungs, now we're going down, or the lungs and the chest, now we're going down into the lower abdomen, and we'll develop our breathing there. So this one too, you want to maintain relaxation in your body. You can bounce your knees a little bit. Your kidney meridians begin all the way down at the soles of your feet, and your water or your bladder meridian ends in the pinky toes. So you can feel your feet, you can keep those energy pathways open and activated just by gently bouncing your body, vibrating. We feel the kidneys, they're the primary, the yin internal organ for the water element. And they hold our fear energy. So with this element, we can practice releasing fear. And we try to draw the breath deep into the abdomen. So we breathe in through the nose. And we exhale through the mouth. And let's take another deep breath in. Breathe in, try to fill up your lower abdomen. And breathe out through the mouth. And keeping mindful of all the sensations you have in your abdomen. Not tapping too intensely if you feel any sharp pain anywhere. But at the same time, don't avoid those painful areas if it's not too bothersome for you. Just keep relaxing and you'll feel those areas release the tension. Shoulders are relaxed with this one, especially so you can draw that breath down into your belly. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the mouth. And the healing color for the kidneys is that deep blue, like almost black color, deep ocean water, healing energy for the water, the kidneys and the bladder. Feel the belly again. Let's take another deep breath. And breathe out through the mouth. More primary benefit here, we get the lower dantian activated, the deep abdominal breath activated. So much depends on the abdominal breathing. So much of our healing and just natural vitality can't occur unless we get that breath established. So this 5-element tapping is a wonderful and short exercise to get that rocking and rolling, your deep belly breathing. Let's take one more deep breath in. And breathe out. All right, and let's just rub the hands around the lower abdomen. And then just hold your hands there on the belly button. Feel your kidneys. Smile to your kidneys and send the gratitude there. Okay, and then I like to close this exercise with just a simple breath, an abdominal breath that we've done in other segments. We'll bend our knees, hands facing the abdomen. Relax lower back and shoulders. Just take a breath in. And face the hands out and breathe out. Palms facing in, breathe in. Palms facing out, exhale. So shoulders and chest relaxed. Feel the abdomen expand on the inhale. And again with this one, we'll breathe out in this practice through our mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And one more time, breath in. And an exhale. Okay, and shake out your hands and feet. All right, we're gonna do our 5-element QiGong practice now. And I'll explain a lot of the basic principles in these videos, and then I'll have some supplemental videos that go more in depth into 5-element theory and the principles behind these movements. We're gonna start with the earth element. I like to start with the earth element because it represents the center. Each of the other elements represents one of the directions, so east and west, north and south, and the earth is that central direction. So with this one, the earth is comprised of the spleen and the stomach meridians, and so the movement activates those energy channels, so you'll need to know generally to really get the most benefit from your practice, you need to know the pathways of the meridians in general. And so each of these are comprised of a yin organ, each element is, and a yang organ, or yang. And so the yin meridians, they all come up the inside and then down the outside, also up the front and down the back. So it's generally inside and the front are the yin, outside and the back are the yang. So for the earth element specifically, you have the spleen starting down here, coming up the inside from the big toe, and then down the outside. It's pretty close down the outside of the knee. Stomach meridian goes down to the ring toe, is what I'll call it, next to the pinky toe. So you just need to have a basic picture in your mind of the meridians. You don't need to know all the acupuncture points along the pathways, just a general sense of it's coming up the inside, going down the outside. Okay, so for the spleen and the stomach, the earth element form, we learn the form first. That's the easy part. Then we can practice the visualization. So our hands come together in a triangle like this, okay? And our knees are bent. And this triangle we're going to lift up over our heads. And we're going to view out into space through this triangle. And as we look up through the triangle, we're going to straighten the knees and twist. This is a great warm-up exercise, and then you come back to the center. And then you bend the knees, and you let your hands open apart like this, just like you're tracing the earth, a big globe, big earth planet. And then the hands come together again. So I like to use this one first, the earth element form, because it really mirrors the first brocade, which is pushing up the sky. So it's a great way to open up all the yin and yang meridians of the body. Bend the knees and bring the hands apart. So remember too, with all of the forms we're practicing, we always learn the movement first. Okay, so here we always have kind of this jump off point where our knees are bent and we're ready to spring. So you straighten the knees and twist. And then come back to the center. Bend the knees, lowering the hands and making that circle with your hands. So there's another piece to this. As you're extending your arms, you want your shoulders to stay relaxed. Okay, loosen the shoulders. Feel that twist. And come down again. And then the other piece is your toes. So we actually cause the energy to come up through the spleen meridian, which I mentioned starts at your big toe. So here, if I was your mirror, this would be your left side. Okay, I'm pushing down on my right toe, but that'll be your left toe. So I always act as a mirror. So you're going to press down through that left toe as you twist, and then release as you come back. So that act of pushing your toe down into the earth causes the energy to rise. So it might seem contrary at first, but when you're pushing the physical body down, you're pushing down the right toe, twisting to the left, energy rises. And when you relax your feet, the energy sinks. Okay, so we'll go to the other side now. So we press the toe and we breathe in. Energy comes up the spleen meridians. And then as we come back and we breathe out, energy comes down the stomach meridians, down the outside of the knee, down to the ring toe. So we breathe in and breathe out. And you can do this at varying speeds, just however feels comfortable and natural. Okay, we breathe in, breathe out. And for the 5-element QiGong forms, I prefer mostly to breathe in and out through the nose. So the mouth's closed, tongue touching the roof of the mouth. So you kind of imagine you're the planet Earth looking out at space through that triangle, and you get to develop those elements of feeling grounded and centered. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now, all of these elements have just so many deep principles that are wonderful to explore. And the more you get that information, you learn about the seasons, the foods, all the personal or personality characteristics associated with each element. Breathing in, breathing out. And let's do one more to each side. Shoulders stay nice and loose. And that's the earth element form. Okay, this next one is the metal element form. And we'll go through the main meridian channels. The organs are the lungs and the large intestine. Okay, and in general with these two, you'll want to have your feet shoulder width apart, knees bent, and we raise our hands up like this. So we're going to be activating the lung. Starts right here, lung meridian, goes down the inside. It's a Yin Meridian, ends at the base of your thumbnail there. And then your large intestine meridian, the Yang Meridian for the metal element, comes up the back of the arm. So this movement's going to stretch and activate those channels. So shoulders relaxed, knees bent, hands come up in front of your chest like this. And we'll practice the movement first. Okay, the hands expand out to the side. And then the palms turn up. And then the hands come back to the center. And then the palms face down. So that's so simple, but it's such an effective movement, creating that broad, wide horizontal posture. Okay, so knees bent, lower back relaxed, we expand the hands out. Palms up, and draw the hands back in. Palms down, draw the hands out. Palms up, and draw the hands back in. And it's, again, since the movement's so simple, it's so easy to incorporate the breathing with it. So naturally you're going to feel the breath in, and then the breath out. So palms facing down, breathing in, and then breathing out. Okay, and you can continue maybe 5 to 6 breaths at a time doing this one, or any amount that feels comfortable. Okay, you breathe in, feel your lungs, and breathe out. And again, for these 5-element QiGong forms, it's best to breathe in and out through the nose, so your mouth stays closed, and your tongue touching the roof of your mouth lightly. Breathing in, breathing out. Okay, so you feel the lung meridian on the inhale. Feel that inside of your arm out to the thumb. Breathing in. And then the large intestine meridian starting at the pointer finger along the back of your arm. You feel those 2 meridians as you practice. Breathing in. Breathing out. And really naturally you'll feel the major acupressure points, acupuncture points along those pathways while you're doing this. You'll feel it in your shoulders, and you'll feel your elbows, especially as you twist and face the hands up and down your forearms. So wherever you feel in your body, those usually correlate with important energy centers. So we'll breathe in and breathe out. The The metal element helps you develop your courage, your perseverance, and enthusiasm, and helps you overcome your laziness and apathy. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, and I appreciate how this comes next in the form because it also is similar to the archer stance, which activates the lung meridian on the thumb and the large intestine meridian on the pointer finger, which the archer stance is the second of the brocades. Breathe in and breathe out. So sometimes you can practice those in tandem there, one right after the other. And you can practice at varying speeds, and you also can practice not really breathing on each repetition, just feeling the joints from the shoulders through the elbows to the wrists. You feel tension here, and then release. And you'll get the flexibility improved in your arms, shoulders, elbows. You can breathe in all kinds of ways. You can go deeper, making tension, breathing into certain points, and then breathing out. So you always practice naturally and play with the form as much as possible and listen to your body. Okay, this next form we're going to practice is for the water element. And this one, along with the fire element form, I like to have my feet just a little wider. And I'll show you in some other supplemental videos of having a much wider stance with those two 5 element forms in particular, the water form and the fire form. But for now, just most generally, you keep that shoulder width foot stance. And here we're going to put, I'm your mirror again. So this will be your right hand. It swings around your back and it goes on your back like this. Your palm, you can imagine, is opposite your belly button. There's an important acupuncture point here on your middle back, or your lower back, right opposite your belly button. And then as you recall, or I'll mention again, your kidney meridians and your bladder meridians, those two internal organs are what comprise the water element. So to practice this form, you'll need to have just a very basic knowledge of the Meridian Pathways. So the kidneys start on the soles of your feet, and they come up the inside of the legs. And then the bladder meridian has a crazy track through your head, and we just focus on the major part of the meridian channel, which is pretty much just opposite the kidney meridian. So on your back, at the sides of the spine, going down and then down the outside of the legs to the pinky. And again, it's just very general. These meridians always mirror each other, so you can just imagine inside the leg and up, and then down the back with the bladder meridian, and down the outside of the legs to the pinkies. And that really, too, all of the visualizations of the meridians, that comes after you learn the form, because we practice the movement first, and then the breathing, and then the visualization and the energy meditation. So we'll start. We'll put your left hand on your lower middle back, and then we're going to imagine, since it's water, we're scooping the purest fountain of youth water out of a spring. Okay, so we're going to bend our knees and kind of shift your weight over to your left side, and then we scoop the water, and it's like you're kind of bringing it up the kidney meridian, up the sole of the foot to the chest, facing your palm towards the chest. Then you face your palm out, your weight's over your right leg now, and then you shift back to the left. Okay, so you're going to bend down, scoop that water from the stream, face the palm out, and shift back to the left. So this is one of the more simple forms as well. And it's simple so that you can really practice coordinating the breathing and then visualizing the meridians, and also just bringing to mind all of the principles of the water element. And so it's really important to get knowledge of all of those principles. And then the breathing with this motion starts when you're scooping the water. So you're bending, so you scoop, you breathe in, and then breathe out as you push off. Inhale, exhale. You feel the soles of your feet, you feel that weight transition, shifting left to right, and then right to left. And then to shift to the other side, we'll do one more. And then in one movement, you're going to switch hands over to the other side, and we scoop with the right hand. And then push off the left foot back to the right side. Okay, so again we breathe in and breathe out. And with the water element, we cultivate wisdom and ethics and gentleness. Breathing in and breathing out. Shoulders and chest stay relaxed. And we'll do one more. So that again was the water element QiGong form. Okay, we're going to practice the wood element QiGong form now of the 5 element form. So again, you need to know that simple knowledge of the element pathways, but first, the internal organs associated with the wood element are the liver and the gallbladder. So those 2 meridians, we start with the liver, starts at the big toe, and again, just very simply, comes up the inside of the leg. And then your gallbladder meridian, also similar to the urinary bladder meridian, has a very complex track up through your head. Like and all these things which are really impossible to track and is too complicated. Meditating should be just simple and calming, right? So we just emphasize the portion of the gallbladder meridian that starts at gallbladder 32, an acupuncture point right around in this area, and goes down the outside of your legs and down to the toes. So again, just very simply, liver comes up the inside, gallbladder goes down the outside of the legs. Okay, so the form now, knees bent, shoulders relaxed, wood element QiGong and meditation. We're going to put your left hand forward. So again, I'm your mirror, and your right hand at your side here. And the first thing that we do is we flip the palms. So we learn the form first, then we'll go through the breathing. So your hands switch, and then you're going to push your right hand forward and pull your left hand back. Okay, so again, it's just you switch the hands and then slide the left hand forward, right hand back. Okay, and then release. So what happens at the same time when you bring this right hand forward, you're pushing that right toe down into the earth, sending energy up the liver meridian, and then when you release, energy goes down the gallbladder meridian. Okay, and also what happens when you push this hand forward, you twist that hip forward. So it's push the toe and twist the hip, and then release. Push the toe, twist the hip. So right now your right toe is kind of digging into the earth, and then you release. So twist and release. Shoulders stay relaxed. And again, pushing that toe down activates the liver meridian. So the energy rises up the inside of the legs. And then release. Energy goes down the outside. Twist. So that movement in your hips activates the meridians as well. And so this is the wood element. So you can kind of imagine you're like a tree, your arms are the branches just kind of swaying in the wind. You keep that flexibility so your branches, your trunk don't snap, break off. And you feel the energy too as your hands pass. Feel the chi kind of spread apart, stretch the energy out. And then the breathing. So we'll slow down and we'll go with the breathing here. So the inhale happens as your hands pass. You breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, exhale. Breathe in and breathe out. Shoulders loose. Wood element energy. You can feel imagine the color green moving through your meridians. The healing color for the wood element. And again, like all the QiGong forms, that we have that element of the tension and the relaxing. Tension and release. So we're tense and then release. Tighten, twisting, and then letting go and unwinding. And find your rhythm. Again, you can vary the speed. And go real slow. Okay, and this one also, like some of the others, it mirrors the brocade that works with the liver meridians. If you remember the gazing at the fist with angry eyes, it's very similar to the wood element form. So you can refer to the videos on the 8 brocades. And you can practice these together and get a deeper workout for each of the elements. And then again back to the element form. Okay, so that was the wood element form, and again, please move to those other videos here, the supplemental videos that will explain more about the principles of each element. Alright, and now we'll do the fire element, and this is the one I'm currently most excited about because we're in the midst of summer, and that is the season of the fire element, so this one is particularly helpful for this time of year and for any time you're feeling anxiety. As you know, fire is very erratic, and when it gets out of control, it goes crazy. And that's why the negative emotion associated with the heart and with fire is anxiety. So this one, just this really simple movement, even just the movements with the arms, they stimulate the meridians for the heart and the small intestine. The heart starts at the armpit and goes down the inside of the pinky, and then the small intestine mirrors that on the outside of the pinky, comes down the back of the arm. So we're just really outside of the arms, but the fire element is special. And you will really enjoy reading about this in my book that's coming out soon about the 5 elements. The fire element has 2 other meridians associated with it. One is the pericardium, which goes down the inside of your arm to the middle finger. The pericardium surrounds the heart. And then what's called the triple warmer, which is on the opposite side from the middle finger up the back of the arm. So as you learn more about the principles of the 5 elements, you can kind of keep those 2 sets of meridians in mind. And it's interesting too, as you'll learn in the supplemental videos and in my book, you'll learn about the paramita of Tibetan Buddhism, and there are 2 paramita associated with the fire element as well, which makes it unique to the other elements. So there's so much wonderful, interesting stuff in the complex element of fire. So this is another one of those, once you learn the arm movements, you can widen the leg stance a little bit if you want to. And as you watch the videos on the smart moves for the legs, you'll be able to incorporate that footwork with the upper body movement with this one. But for this video, we're just going to do the most basic fire element form. So your feet are shoulder width apart and your knees are bent, shoulders relaxed. So this one I always kind of imagine I'm on a beach with a big beach ball. So you're holding a beach ball in your hands. And so again, your right hand will be on the bottom if I'm your mirror here, as you're watching this. So knees bent, shoulders relaxed. And what you do first, you imagine you're spinning that ball. And you're going to drop one hand down, bring your right arm up as if you're shielding your eyes from the sun. So, and even just in this posture, you'll feel kind of pressing down. You feel the outside of your hand from the pinky to the middle finger. And then this one too, it activates those meridian channels on the outside of the arm, like pushing up like that. So then you're going to bring your left arm up the side, kind of near that armpit, the first point on the heart meridian. Fingers up, and then you're going to shift your weight to your right. And at the same time, you're going to pivot to your right. And your left hand is going to rotate. It's just going to swing. And it stays in front of your chest. And it stays right at the center, like right in front of the heart. So we just kind of dissect your chest in half like that, if you were to bring it back. So then you come back and you're switched here in the beginning posture. So now your left hand's on the bottom, right hand's on the top. Knees bent, shoulders relaxed. You're feeling that energy. Spin the ball, and then one hand drops, the other shields the eyes from the sun. Your right hand comes up the side, palm forward, and then you shift your weight to the left, pivot to the left, and rotate your right arm so that it moves right in front of your chest. And then you come back. This one, it's really important to learn the posture. I feel like this is the most complicated form. The most complicated 5-element form. Shift your weight, pivot, and then come back. So again, remember the whole purpose of these is really isolating the meridians of each element. And so you want to be able to feel those, and in my book, and we'll have graphics posted too of the pathways of the meridian so you can digest those into your brain. And then you can feel them. So these movements again are designed so that you really feel the muscles and the areas of the body where those meridians travel. And also the major points, which usually are the first point on the meridian and the ending point on the meridian. This one also is a little tricky to master with the breathing, especially if you're moving slowly. So I'll show you the way to practice with one breath. Okay, so the inhale begins here as you're pushing. So you're breathing in. This again is that twisting or tense portion of the motion where you're holding that tension, and then you release and you breathe out. And as usual, the exhale is longer than the inhale. So the exhale continues, and then the inhale, and exhale. So you'll find with this form, as you learn the movement and then get the breathing, that it cultivates that virtue of the fire element, which is concentration and mindfulness. So it calms the mind, it calms the fire in the heart. But you can break this up into 2 breaths. And what's most important really is just that primary inhale. So even though you're breathing twice through this form, just make sure that when you breathe in, inhale here into that tension and then release. And you could take an extra breath in this part if you wanted, an inhale and an exhale. And then so you're aligned, you'll breathe in and breathe out. So again, here's 2 breaths. You inhale and exhale, so that you're ready to inhale into this tension moment here. Breathe in and breathe out. And again, you can practice moving in any speed that you'd like. And you feel the shoulders loosen up a lot. This form, the energy's got to travel through those joints, elbows, and to me this gets all the funky joints and areas in the shoulders that you don't normally feel with just the more simple exercises or simple stretches for your shoulders and your upper body. This gets kind of the hidden ones and more subtle points of the body. So you'll get some new sensations coming from your shoulder areas. And let's do this one once more, back and forth. Just don't want to leave the beach. Keep playing with the beach ball. And one more time. Okay, so that was the final form in the 5-element cycle for the fire element. Alright, so now we're going to do a great exercise that I feel like can be used universally as a warm-up exercise, although I like to practice it after I've done some warm-ups generally, or as a closing exercise. In particular, I like to do this after I practice the 5 element forms. And this one especially, this is called Smart Moves, one of the Smart Moves, and it's for the upper body and the arms. And it works all the meridian channels through the arms, as you'll see. So we're going to start with both hands, because it's actually easier to learn the movement using both hands as opposed to one arm. So put both hands up in front of you like this. This is also known in some circles as the Vortex Exercise. So you can think of it as the Vortex Exercise, one of the Smart Moves for the upper body. So your knees are bent, your feet are comfortable width apart, and you're going to pull your hands towards your body and point your fingers back, but your palms stay face up. This is, you want to imagine you're holding like an apple in your hands and you don't want to drop the apple. Then you're going to swing your hands up above your head. The apples might bash together at that point, but don't worry about it. And then rotate them around. So the palms stay up the whole time. Palms back, out, up, and around. So again, they're coming down. It's kind of like a spiral slide, you can imagine as well. Spiraling up, spiraling down. And then your legs too, they start bent, and as the hands expand, you can straighten them. And then bend the knees. You can also just keep the knees bent. Whatever feels natural for you. Okay, but this is just the ultimate exercise for opening up the chest and the shoulders in that wonderful rotation. You feel your shoulder blades. You open up all the joints in your arms, shoulders, elbows, and wrists. And you can also practice this as slowly or as quickly as you want. And however you do it, it'll have a different benefit. So I recommend practicing it and just going with the flow. You can also integrate the breathing. So the most basic way would be to do that inhale as your knees straighten and you expand. So you breathe in and then breathe out. Inhale and then exhale. All right, again, so this is the one half of the form. I think it's the easiest to learn with both hands, so that's why I wanted to start with this one. And then you can also practice this, the more you get accustomed to it. I like to practice it really quickly without integrating the breathing. And this really helps to loosen up the shoulders. So you might do 8 to 10 repetitions, just nice and quickly. And then a slower one with the breath. So again, after you've breathed out, just rotate several times, loosening, sinking the shoulders, knees bent, and then do a nice deep breath in and exhale. Okay, so that was one half. So the other half, you can shake your shoulders a little bit, is going the opposite way. So when we're pulling the arms back that way, we're leading with the pinkies and the Yang Meridians. You feel it mainly in the back of your arms and the outside along the pinkies. The opposite way, or the complement to it, is the Yin channels along the thumbs and the inside of the arm. So with these ones, you're going to open up. Okay, that's the first part. Again, your knees are bent, your palms are face up. You open You lean forward and flip your palms up, and then your hands come up the sides, and you bend your knees. All right, and then you just go right into the second part. So that's the Yang. So it starts the Yin, so we go open, head up, palms up, and then come up, your hands come up the sides, bend the knees, and then palms up. Okay, so that's the one whole repetition. Let's do that again. So nice and slowly, straightening, leaning forward with your head up and your palms flip up to the sky, and then you're gonna bring your body up, hands come up the sides, and the knees bend. So those are the Yin Meridians, and then palms up, and the Yang Meridians. All right, and so the way that I like to practice is doing one of the first part, okay, the Yin, and then 3 to 5 rotations this way. All right, so then you can start again from the beginning. Or you can just do one of each, and then I can show you the breathing for that first part too. So, breathing in, breathing out, and then breathing in, and breathing out. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. All right, so that was the Vortex Exercise. Okay, and we're going to continue with the Vortex Exercise, also known as one of the SMART moves for the upper body. And this one we're going to break it up a little bit. I like to introduce the full segment because I feel like it's easier to learn. But when you break it up with each arm, you can combine it into a little bit of a longer form. So the most simple with one arm is just, I like to put one hand behind the back, like we do with the water element form. Your palms facing out and your hands at the level of your navel on your back. And you bend the knees a little bit, and we do like the spiral slide. You're going to hold that apple in your hand, and the palm stays up. And you're just rotating, you're making a spiral up, and then spiraling back down. And your knees can straighten and then bend. And you can incorporate the breathing as an inhale and an exhale. And you want to keep your shoulder nice and relaxed. That's usually why this one is difficult at first, is because you've got to work out the tension in your shoulder so that your joint can move properly. All right, so we can just do that to the opposite side. You put your left hand on your back, hold your right palm out, and I kind of like to imagine you're pulling in so you can shift your lower body too, and you make room for your hand to go by your side. So you're shifting, straightening, and like the other QiGong forms where your arm extends up into the sky as the knees straighten, you can just feel your whole body. You feel your feet sink into the earth. And that's really important so you feel grounded. And when you sink those feet into the earth as your body expands, it allows you to let go in your lower back. You send your strength and your roots down through the feet. Relax the shoulder, and then you can incorporate the breathing. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. All right, so just with the same as the double armed form, where we use both the arms, easier way to go here to start. Most people have an easier time doing both arms than one, but we did the movement for the Yang meridians like we just did for the single arm. So it gets those along the outside and the front, or the outside and the back of your arm. And then we have the complementary Yin motion. So this one's really good, I think even better than the double hand motion to activate the Yin meridians as well. So with this one, you're going to reach out with your left hand here, with your thumb up, and then twist at your back. So reach out, twist, so the thumb goes inside, and you're also rotating the shoulder. So rotate the shoulder, and you step your body aside so you can move your left hand forward again. Then your palm goes up, and you do that first part we just learned. And then you can pass the chi over to the other hand. Twist the shoulder and bring the right hand through, palm up. So this way you can do that continuous motion. And this is one that you can do while you're walking. Once you get it down, so you learn the motion first, and you can feel too, these movements are great for the wrist. You just want to feel that from the shoulder through the wrist out to the fingertips. So it's like you're reaching through the fingertips and then pulling, and then pass the energy. Twist and through. So you can use those elements of tension too. So you can kind of squeeze and twist and then release. And as you really warm up with this motion, you can feel the joints, the shoulders, elbows, and wrists, but also just the whole arm, shoulders, chest, out to the tips of the fingers and then the knuckles. So you can breathe in and breathe out, and then breathe in and breathe out. And once more, back and forth. Inhale and exhale. And breathe in and breathe out. And then you can open up with both arms. Inhale and exhale. Palms up. Breathe in and breathe out. And starting again, inhale, and then exhale, breathe in, and breathe out. And that form is so universal and expanding in your energy. I like to finish it with the feet together and just reaching the hands up and aligning your energy through the crown chakra all the way down to your feet. Just taking a few breaths like this to ground the energy and align it. So breathing in, inhale, Feel the top of the head and then down through the soles of the feet. And one more time, breathe in and breathe out. Soles of the feet. Okay, so that's the whole smart moves for the Vortex exercise.